Hello, and welcome to the Ant Farm. You're invited to follow my instructions and take a walk with me as I retrace back to the emergence of our trace's performance. Separated by space and time, we will experience this moment differently together through the diagrammatical aesthetics of the Ant Farm. Walking as a manifesto. Let's start by going south. Initially working with Margaret Iverson's text, index, diagram, graphic trace, involuntary drawing, and Amy Silman's notes on the diagram made us see the potential of diagrams in translating subject into a record trace, with the index being left by the object in its absence. Turn right at the next intersection and continue down. With the natural existence of lines, diagrammatical aesthetics then can focus on the interpretation and expansion of record traces. Notably, the specificity of lines and measurements creates the potential for a portrait of the subject. In addition, with diagrams allowing for disparate ideas to be contained and put in relation, it gives us the opportunity to translate invisible concepts materially, highlighting a pre-existing invisible social network. Turn left at the next intersection, then cross. A great inspiration for our diagram project is undeniably Francis Alice. With his poetic and political understanding of moving bodies and space as a context for traces. His work demonstrated a poetic and political strength in the performance of walking in relation to traces. Notably, the green line intensifies the meaning of the traces we leave, especially in relation to the social space in which we navigate. As Alice walked along the armistice border, the green line questions the negotiation of space in Jerusalem. Go left towards the lanes. Additionally, Tim Knowles' practice in uncontrolled traces recording the kinetic energy of the natural world investigated the interaction of movement. His emphasis on the process of the work being made was interesting to the Ant Farm project, where the actual act of the trace is of greater importance than the line in of itself. Like Knowles, we chose to relish control and in a way to condense a sort of infinite in a diagrammatical drawing. Take a right and follow the path. Walking becomes for us a process and a dialogue between space, time, and each other. Now left. To be able to harvest these traces and data, we used Strava as the tracking device over the span of a week. We wanted to highlight the unconscious traces we leave in life across paths and to measure our interrelationship at the converging points. Readapting the initial text idea of diagram as a portrait, the Ant Farm project highlighted each member's position in this dislocated network. Left again. With Bath as a city in particular, is more than a mere space. Its organization affects our bodies in movement, and so the traces that our bodies have left are in conversations with the roads and the paths of Bath. There is an innate vitality to those traces. Then, the act of layering those traces put us in relation vis-à-vis our movement dislocated in time contained within a diagram. Turn right. Layering our traces over each other becomes a cultural production of networks and flux. With the diagram implies a relationship, and so as a tool, it allowed us to put each members of the Ant Farm's body in movement in relation to each other across the physical context of Bath, flattening the distance in time. It became a continuum of two dimensions, time and space. Turn left. Post-production work lent itself through multiple readings of the walks. We met a work sculpture, an animation, a zine, and a screen print of our roots raises questions and frictions with each piece, while creating a holistic approach to the Ant Farm. This being said, with my studio practice heavily emphasizing on zines as a vehicle for knowledge, it translated through the creation of a zine as a supporting document for the Ant Farm. With the concept of symbol of a map being at the center of our project, I thought it would be essential for the zine to be an alternative form of map. With the multiple folds of a map, it allowed me to divide the publication into 5 parts: cover, photo book, transcript, process pictures, and the backside of the zine. With the backside of the zine, I decided not to put our traces, as I felt it would only become a repetition of the other works we had produced. Rather, to add new information, I had the other members of the group describe important locations in Bath through feelings and experiences. We have arrived to our destination. The Ant Farm project led me to incorporate walking as a core process of my current studio practice. Working as a collective allowed to enact a much larger project, which resulted in a new perspective and understanding of process within an art practice. It strengthened my desire to have a social practice in art, as it allows to reinterpret reality collectively in a more diverse way than through my own perspective. I'm reminded of the power of community.